Okay everyone, I'm loving this crystal mould. Link below for that. It comes out with beautiful sparkly edges. You'll see the previous ones I've made. Look at the sparkle on that. And this rather girly pinky one I have literally just demoulded. Sparkly edges, flowers, very pretty. I'm absolutely loving this mould. I don't think it was that expensive either. I'll see if I can find you the link. Now what I'm going to try and do today is make something that looks like amethyst. Now I'm really going for like a Larimar effect or any of those, but I'm using some of the ideas that come from that, because I don't necessarily want it to pull into the middle or do anything fancy like that. I'm just going to sort of chuck in different shades of amethyst colours and some resin and just kind of see what happens. Try and make something that looks a bit more less organised, something a bit more organic. So what I've got is the 1-to-1 resin from Just For You online. It's called Apex and it's the high gloss. It's a medium viscosity. I believe for proper Larimar effects and things like that you use a low viscosity one. This is a medium. Okay, and that's because I want more sort of definition and a bit less movement. I have got some whites. This is the Supreme White pigment paste from Just For You online. This is the white shimmer because I think I'm going to want just a tiny bit of shimmer. I've got their amethyst pigment powder as well, which is a really nice dark, subtle, misty, sort of smoky, I think that's more the word I'm looking for, sort of a smoky amethyst colour. And in case I want to make it a little bit more purpley, I've got this lavender dye as well. As usual, links for everything will be below. Now, my resin is pretty well mixed up. I'm getting better at mixing slowly and not getting quite so many bubbles in it. You know what I'm like. Getting a cloth at the ready. There we are, one of my wonder wipes. Now, I'm going to split this into several pots. And if you're thinking, gosh, that's a lot of resin she's got in that cup to go into just that one mould, it takes more than you think. And I've always got things to the side going on as well that any surplus goes into. It never goes to waste. And of course, for things like this, it's always worth holding back a little bit of clear. So let's get stuck in. We're going to mix some colours in first of all. And let's first mix this amethyst. It's beautiful. It is, as I said, smoky. Another nice thing about these tubs is they come with this little plastic lid which does stop me shooting it everywhere. Did you see that there? Yeah, it's got a little plastic lid inside the normal lid. Now I don't quite know how much I'm going to need, so let's just put a little bit first. I want to try and keep a bit of translucence to it. Just a little. Yeah, that looks pretty darn good to me. So there's their dark smoky shade. Isn't that beautiful? Right, the next one I'm going to mix again with some of this powder. So the same one again. I'm going to put the lid on before I shoot it everywhere. There's that little plastic lid I was talking about. Sorry, I keep going off camera, don't I? There we are. So that's again is that same powder, but this time I'm going to put a little dot of the lavender dye in it. That's just to see if I can make it a little bit more purpley, and a little less smoky. Don't know if that's made a great deal of difference, but we'll see. We'll see. So I've got two very slight variations on that. Now before I go any further, I just want to show you some little bits of amethyst that I've got in my observations. So one is that it's not actually that brighter purple. I know you can get it in brighter purple, but that one's a little bit more purpley. But the colours are very subtle, and it's lighter at the base as well, and in patches. So yeah, anyway, if you find a piece of smoothed off amethyst that's actually been prepared, there is very definitely, you know, like a graining in it, almost like a marbling effect. So that's what I'm going to be going for. So this next pot, we're going to have just a little touch of the white shimmer in. Just a little. Again, I'm trying to leave that a little bit translucent. This one, I think I'm going to put a bit more of the lavender in it too. You do have to be careful you don't put too much of a liquid pigment in, of course, because it can inhibit the curing. 10% is the guideline. Yeah, so that's just a little bit more purpley. I might, what else am I going to need? I'm going to need white at some point, potentially. So let's get another little cup. I'm going to split this one up. And in this one, I'm going to put just that lavender. So you can see what that colour looks like as well. It's lovely, isn't it? So you've got 3 very subtly different shades of my purple going on. That's rather lovely, isn't it? I like that lavender. Let's do some more stuff with that sometime. And then finally, I am going to have a little bit of just white, which I'm going to make fairly strong. When I say fairly strong, you only need the tiniest bit of these pigment pastes. I used to think they were really expensive. When you think how long they last, because the colour is so intense and you only need a tiny bit, and how easy they are to use. I've now got the whole set. Let's just put it like that. Right, I'm going to put these out of the way for now. And of course we've got our clear. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to put the darkest one around the edge first. Now that's the one that is just the lavender. Sorry, the amethyst, the powder one. Okay. Then next, I think I'm going to put just a little bit of the white, and just see, I'm just going to mix it in a little bit. I'm not trying to do the sort of Larimar puddling effect and that sort of thing. Next, I'm going to try a little bit of the purpley purple. I'm saving that white till very last. I'm going to chuck that in the middle. Now that's the one that was the powder and a bit of the lavender liquid. I'm going to go over a little bit more of this. You see I'm scribbling rather than dumping it in this case, and we will do a bit of a dump in the middle. I'm going to have a bit more of this. I'm going to end up mixing more, I can see, but now I am back to dumping in the middle because it's a kind of a habit thing. Just going to get these last little bits out. Now I am wondering what would happen if I did this with a really thick resin. I'm wondering about the fast cure or something like that. But you see where I'm going with this. I'm not trying to get a necessarily perfect effect. I want it to be a bit more random. Gonna need to mix some more up, aren't I? See, even with all that, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So 2 drops of the lavender. Where did I put the amethyst? Here it is. You know, I'll scream if this comes out like a proper Larimar effect. After all my failed attempts at doing that, it would be really funny, wouldn't it? It's not going to, is it, though? I mean, let's face it, it's not going to. And also, I didn't put the white in first. I'm saving the white till last, so it's all over the place, really. Get some more of the dark around the edge. I want some of this dark really to get into that sparkle that this crystal edge mould really does do very well. And then I also want to get some of this quite strong white around the edges, I think. And the way I'm going to do this is try to put some drips in. So I'm going to get almost like a dragon flower effect, I hope. A little bit in places. Like I said, I don't want it too uniform. Oh, yeah, exactly. Look. She says, pretending that was deliberate. Let's see where those go, because as I haven't really gone from the centre in, yes, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm going to put some more dots, but quite a long way in, and they're quite big dots, and some of them are ending up as splats, and you know, it's a bit all over the place, this. Might even put a bit in the middle. There we are. Because what I'm going to do very last is some little drizzles like that. Because who knows where these will end up. You know how resin behaves. Has anybody done scribbles like this? Anybody tried that? Trust me, you can get some really odd effects. Don't know what exactly I'm hoping for here, other than I don't want it to look as organised and regular and possibly unnatural as a Larimar effect. I want something a bit more marbly to it, but I did want to get some definite dots in. So it'll be interesting what happens, to see what happens when I go ahead and chuck in the last of the clear now, because that's going to be just all over the place, isn't it? Right, I'm going to go around and get the last bits out of these. I'm using the stick that's got the white on it, because at this point there's so much in there, so much going on, it doesn't matter. See? So I'm just scooping it in, filling it up, using every last little bit. Those lines, the squiggles are pulling in, look, you see. You can get some really quite, you can get almost like graffiti type effects with it. It's quite an interesting, fun thing to do, just scribbling with it like that. Right. So I'm going to let that just do its thing for a few seconds longer. And then I have a little bit of a clear up. And then we're just going to dump the white straight in the middle. Now there is, I don't know how long this is going to take to cure. It is warm here today in England. We're getting warm again, just as summer's coming to an end. And yeah, the pink one cured really, really fast. I mean, insanely fast. It was 6 hours. I had put the heat mat under it, but only for like half an hour, and then realised I didn't need to. Okay. Just going to chuck that in the middle and see what sort of pulling and pushing it does. And I'm hoping that is what we will get, a more random and natural looking effect than you would with a proper Larimar or the flower techniques. Look, I'm even going to drizzle a bit of this into the sides. Not just letting it push and pull, I'm actually putting a few little drops in here, there and everywhere as well. Demoulding time. Well, the back's gone interesting. Some of the white has floated. I disturbed it at one point, so I've got a bit of a line right there, but this is the back, theoretically. Let's see what we got. That crunch noise, that's how you know I really am demoulding this live and I haven't taken a sneaky peek. Okay. I'm holding my breath a bit because I keep messing these things up. Oh, that's nice. I don't know whether it looks like amethyst. I may have overdone the white. Maybe I should have put some glitter in the middle. But either way, that's the most interesting looking one I've done so far. I like it. I like it. Might be keeping this one too. Okay, this has spurred me on to have another, oops, sorry. This has spurred me on to have another go at doing these crystal moulds and try to get some patterns in it. Yeah, that's lovely. I like it, even if it hasn't done what I quite intended. Right, if you've enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Thumbs up please. The like button is just down below here. And I'll look forward to seeing you for my next bit of messing around. Bye folks.